Okay, for any new people in the room, welcome to Columbus. First up for this session is the Purdue student athletes. We have Zach Edey and Mason Gillis. I'll give you a couple reminders before we get started. Please silence your cell phones at this time. Also, please provide your name and media affiliation with each question you ask. If you're joining us via Zoom, use the raise hand function and we'll get to you eventually. And lastly, no recording of the press conference video with your phone or a handheld camera in this room, so please don't do that. Raise your hand. We'll get you a mic. Right here in the front.
Kelly Hallinan, WLFI. Just takeaways from yesterday's game, watching Fairleigh Dickinson. What'd you kind of see from them?
They press a lot. We've been working on that, and so I would assume that they would press us. But yeah, you know, just my personal thing is we're going to be throwing the ball to Zach a lot. So.
I mean, they shoot a lot of threes. They obviously press a lot. They're smaller, so they kind of get out in transition. They're quick. So it's definitely going to be a different look than we're used to in the Big Ten, but they're a good team for sure.
Zach, how much of an emphasis is it on they're the shortest team in the tournament? Do you kind of think about that? I think their tallest guy is 6'6", I want to say, but what's kind of the emphasis on that?
I mean, it's something. Playing against shorter guys is a different look than playing against taller guys. Not necessarily easier all the time. The way that you have to kind of play with them, you have to treat them almost with like safety gloves almost, because anything I do, since I'm bigger, looks really bad. So I really have to keep that in mind, stay out of foul trouble with it, and really try to dominate the game.
And obviously, you mentioned they're shooters. How comfortable are you with your perimeter defense?
I think we're good. We've been good all season. I think our defense has been something that's really been solid, especially in the half court. So we're just going to stick to what we've done.
Bree Shackelford, WLFI. Anything you guys are trying to prove this year in the March Madness tournament?
Mason?
I'd say that we can make a deep run. You know, the past years, we've came up short a couple times. We haven't made it to a Final Four in a long time, and so we're just fighting to get back there and win it all.
Yeah, now looking at this year's team, question for both of you. How big of a run can you guys make this year compared to years past?
I mean, we can win it all. We have all the pieces. We have the big men. Myself, we have our guards. We just, over the course of this season, we've come together and we have never lost mind of our goals. And so every single practice, we're preaching what we want. And whether you want to get on a philosophical level, but we're speaking things into existence. And so we're just going to continue to do that and take care of what we need to do.
I agree with him.
Over here on the right.
Mason, hey, Greg Doyle here with the Indy Star. What do you mean we're speaking things into existence? What does that look like?
For me, it's been 4 years. You know, I got here, and the goals were always to win Big Ten Conference, win Big Ten Tourney, and win the national championship. My first year here, I didn't play, and we didn't make it. Second year, we weren't able to win the conference tourney. Third year, we weren't able to, and finally, my fourth year, we won it by 3 games, and then won the tourney. And now we're set for a run in March Madness right now. And from a day-to-day basis, it's just kind of preaching in our huddles. Coach Paint preaches our goals. I preach our goals. The guys commented on it. I always try and just repeat small things like don't forget what we're playing for, or this game matters as much as the last 3 games, or this game matters as much as the coming up 3 games. It's game by game, practice by practice, day by day, keeping things small and not forgetting what we're here for.
We'll go Tom next.
Tom Withers, Associated Press. Zach, this year the Big Ten kind of, as usual, brutalized each other, right? Everybody seemed to be like 11-7 or somewhere in there. Does that make you guys tournament ready? Does that prepare you for this kind of a format?
I definitely think it does. In the Big Ten, like you said, since it's always so close, so many teams are always so good. From top to bottom, there's not really many off games, and basically every win you can get, it's a good win, whether that's at home or on the road. You kind of separate yourself in those rankings. Like, I bet you can name a lot of teams that wish they could just have one game back right now in the Big Ten. So it's like kind of almost like a tournament setting. Right? Every game is super, super important.
Here in the front.
This is for Zach. This is Mark Cannizzaro from the New York Post. Zach, obviously you're used to being taller than everybody else around you. What do you know about Ansley Almanor from what you've scouted or how much you've done? Who was kind of the FDU's big man, so to speak, and what's the challenge with him offensively, kind of getting you out of the paint to try to guard him?
Yeah, they're really good. They have really good big men, super skilled. Obviously, like you said, they're a little undersized, so they can take you out to the perimeter. They can put the ball on the floor. They can create some problems for us. So we have to kind of stay away from those. We have to game plan for those and come out and execute.
Bill Bender, Sporting News, for both you guys. How much does Coach Painter draw off his experiences as a player, his experiences in the tournament? Is that something he talks to you guys about a lot or not much?
I don't think he's ever talked to us about his experiences in the tournament.
George Bremer with CNHI Sports Indiana. For both of you, playing in the early season tournament, the Phil Knight event, and winning that, and then winning the Big Ten tournament, does that experience help you at all as you get ready, for this tournament now?
Yeah, I'd say absolutely. We haven't lost on a neutral court, and we plan to keep it that way. Yeah.
This is for both Mason and Zach. When you look back at last year, at the end, what did you learn out of that St. Peter's game? Are there any parallels to this game in terms of, I'm not to say you didn't take them seriously, but what they did to you guys and how much of a shock that was to you?
Yeah, I would say that we just have to go into every single game with the utmost respect of the other, the competition, whoever we're playing, no matter their name. And whenever we step in between the lines, we have to stay focused on our game plan. And throughout the game, stay focused on our game plan, not get comfortable if we're up in a lead and they come back and score, they start pressing us, and we're lackadaisical on what we're supposed to be doing. I've told the guys all year, our game plan wins. What we do wins, and so if we stay with that, I'm not worried about much. So.
Yeah, every team is in our matches for a reason. No team just gets in here by accident. Every team in this tournament's good, so we just have to take every team serious, doesn't matter what seed number they are.
Tom Withers, AP. Mason, what's it like to have a weapon like the big guy? And how much has your guys' confidence grown along with seeing Zach develop?
Yeah. It's nice to be able to say we have something that nobody else in the country does. But at the same time, how good of a basketball player he is, he's an even better person. And that's why we all respect him so much, because he's just a normal guy. He's normal just like all of us. He's nice, does what he's supposed to do, takes care of his responsibilities, but then he's dominant on the court, unlike anybody else. And so Payne always tells us if we're in trouble on the court or we don't know what to do, just throw it to him, and that's very nice to have a relief like that. And then our confidence has grown just from him telling us to be ready. There's not too many great players in the world that are telling their teammates to shoot the ball more or to be more aggressive. And he's always telling us to be more aggressive, and we tell him to be more aggressive. So it's kind of like a back and forth thing. We all love each other. We're all playing for each other. We're all playing for Purdue. And so whenever that comes together like it is this year, a lot of success comes from that. So. Yeah.
Back here next.
Michael Cohen from Fox Sports. There was a moment in the Big Ten tournament where Fletcher made a three and he kind of shrugged and Painter kind of gave a fist pump like, about time, it's finally going through for me. It's not easy to be a freshman and play as many minutes as he has in college basketball. Couple that with maybe not shooting it quite as well as he'd want down the stretch. How have you sort of seen him weather that storm, and where do you think his mindset is at going into this tournament?
I think Fletcher is one of the most confident people I've been around in terms of off the court and on the court. That three that you were talking about, I think he shrugged. The only reason he shrugged was because it was at the end of a shot clock and he just kind of flung it up. So it was kind of like a prayer, but I don't think I think he's a very confident guy. He's going to keep shooting. We all want him to keep shooting. We need him to keep shooting. So no matter what kind of his numbers look like, we know what he brings to the table. We know what type of gravity he can bring on offense. And other teams know that too, so he's never going to get an easy look. But it's really tough to be a freshman in our league, and he's made it look really easy up until this point, but it's not. And he has to keep shooting. He has to keep having that confidence that he's always played with all season.
And I'd say that he works at it too, every single day. I know I'm in the gym, and whenever I'm there, he's there. And so it's great to be able to see. I mean, all of our guys are like that, but I know Fletcher's in there every single day working on it. And just him keeping that confidence in himself, it'll all work out whenever somebody works.
Mason, I think you said earlier something about they press a lot and you're just going to throw it to him. Is that what you said?
Not necessarily. So I was saying that whenever we're in trouble, like in half-court settings or they're pressuring the ball, Coach Payne always just says, we have Zach down there, just throw it to him. But to break their press, we have been working on things, and we are on the same page right now, and we know what we're going to do to beat it.
I was referencing not what you said a minute ago, but what you said, like the first question was about the press, and I thought you said you're going to throw it to him.
That's
It'll
not
be in the transcripts if you said it.
It's not in it right now, but we have our press breaks, and Zach's always available, you know. So if we need him, he'll come up and save the day.
Any other questions for our student athletes? All right, gentlemen, thank you. Appreciate your time, and good luck.